Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day and that you're looking after yourselves and one another. Today, I am joined by Mr. Warren Bunn. How's it going, Warren?
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here.
You?
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are tackling Jethro Tull. Specifically, we are giving you our top 10 albums of Jethro Tull. Jethro Tull, as you all know, with a few of you who don't know, massively successful progressive rock band from Great Britain, from the late 60s through the 70s, 80s, 90s, up to April of 2023. They've been releasing albums in one configuration of the band or another. Um, Ian Anderson, the mainstay of Jethro Tull, lead singer, producer, main songwriter. Some people, D. Palmer or David Palmer, has gone on record as saying that Ian Anderson is in fact Jethro Tull. Now, what Warren and I are going to do is we are going to give you our top 10 albums of Jethro Tull and one honorable mention. So, as is customary with these episodes, I will let Warren go first and he'll give us his number 10.
All right. Thank you so much, Armando.
No
Great
problem.
choice. I've been a Jethro Tull fan since the 70s, and not an expert, but I am a big fan. Um,
Hmm.
and I have 95% of his catalog. So, and this was a very difficult thing to do because he's got so many great albums.
Uh,
That's really hard.
yeah, if I can ask you too, what drew you as a fan to Jethro Tull's music?
Well, I first heard of him in 74 when our neighbor who was in his 20s, like, sorry,
Okay.
Um, he was in his 20s. I was 9 years old and said, his house and he had albums. And he had just bought the new album by Jethro Tull.
War Child, yeah.
Yeah. And I love that album. That time I knew nothing about Tull, but I love that album cover.
Okay.
Cool. Figure of a guy with long hair and his balloon. Like, so when I
Yeah.
joined Columbia House Record and Tape Club, that was one of the albums I ordered because I liked the album. I love the artwork on the albums. And but I didn't really start getting into his music until about 77.
Okay.
Really started to embrace his music. That's when I bought songs from the Wood, Aqualung, and all
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And surprisingly, I've never seen him in concert. And it's very shocking to me because I've been to many concerts in my life. I don't know why I didn't go see him. I've always been a fan of their music. And for years, like a lot of people, I thought he was just one person. It's like, well, who is Jethro Tull? Everybody, I'm sure, is like, oh, he's not. It's the name of the band. I called the radio station. They said, no, it's the name of the band. I thought it was one guy. But as we all know, Ian Anderson is. But anyway, as far as the top, like I said, it was um, this number 10 that I chose. You know, fabulous record, but it's probably at the bottom of my list. But I still like it. Okay, that is the passion play.
Ah, an extended performance.
Which was released in 1973. This is the Stephen Wilson deluxe box set, which I'm sure most Jethro Tull fans have this. The beautiful book and everything. It's
Uh-huh.
just a nice treasure. Um, Good record. I like it, but it's always one that I don't listen to as much as the other. So this is probably out of all.
Okay.
This is probably the one that I listen. I think I listened to it a couple,
Yeah.
but it's still a fine record. I know it got a lot of blowback from the critics when it first came out too. I read that,
Yeah.
but it's a good record. I have it. I know a lot of these are out of print. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I grabbed this one right away when it went on sale, and I don't know what it sells for now, but if you get a chance to pick up this, I would say
Yeah,
number 10.
yeah. No, it's a good choice. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, we're just having a bit of issue with Warren's audio. It
Yes.
cuts in and out just a little bit. So, um, but we're going to carry on.
Bear with us, please.
Yes, please bear with us. Um, Actually, a passion play. I I had it in my hot little hands when it first came out. It was in my local record store at Sunrise, and it was going for like $71, 72.99, something like that. And I was gonna buy it. I had it in my hot little fat fingers, and I put it down and thought I'll come back and get it. No, couldn't get
Have
it.
it. Mm.
And right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you go on Discogs, depending where you are in the world, you can get yourself a copy of the box set of A Passion Play for the bargain basement price of $532.
Mm.
I have a mortgage to pay for. I can't do that. So,
Same here.
I will wait for when they reissue the sets like they did recently with Aqualung, etc. But no,
Hmm.
that's a good choice. And for those of you who want to get the full version of A Passion Play on just itself without the set, you can get the Nightcap compilation disc that
Hmm.
came out, I believe, in the early, like either late 90s or early 2000s. The first disc on that compilation has the entire Passion Play done with some overdubs done by Ian Anderson without the little snippet of the hare that lost his spectacles, you know. But anyways, and it's like $45 for that compilation, the Nightcap compilation.
Okay.
So
That's not bad.
yeah, no, it's really good. It's cheaper
Yeah.
than
Sure.
$560. So yeah. My number 10, ladies and gentlemen, is Benefit.
Mm.
Released April 20th of 1970. Uh, I actually went out one day with Bob to our local secondhand place called Sound Connection, which is no longer in business, and I bought all of the Jethro Tull 70s vinyl, including Bursting Out, and in perfect condition. Fantastic album. Third release. This is sort of seen as a bit of a bridge between Stand Up and Aqualung, right? Kind of like mm, a transitional album, right? With songs like With You There to Help Me and
Yeah.
you know, Inside and Nothing to Say. Um, Fantastic, heavy rock oriented album, right? Very guitar driven. Ian Anderson has said this is not one of their better albums, but it is a good album. And if you can find a copy of Benefit, the box set version, the book version, they're pretty good. They're still cheap. They're
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
79 or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was 35 when it first came out. $35, right?
Really cool.
When it first came out.
Oh, when it first came out, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You know how that goes. Then it goes out of print and then the price goes
yeah, yeah.
up.
No, no, definitely, definitely. Okay, so that's my number 10. Back over to Warren for his number
Right
nine.
on. Okay. And for my number 9, I'm going to go with the first one.
Ah,
This was, which is a bluesy rock album, first album. This one, I believe, is for like 35 or $40. I don't think this one sold that. This is the one with Mick Abrams. Mick Abrams?
yeah,
Abrams,
Abrams.
first guitar player in Jethro Tull, and he later was in a band called Bloodwind Pig. Another
Okay.
really have that one called a hit. But this is a good rocking album, man, and it's
Mhm.
completely different than what Jethro Tull would. Um,
Yeah,
but it's got some killer tunes on it. My Sunday Feeling, Beggar's Farm, Dharma for One, which he played in concert a lot back,
yeah,
and there's some really good bonus material on here. I believe there's a 5.1, but I'm not set up for 5.1 on my stereo. I just haven't done it yet. Haven't gotten around to doing that. I would be
Mhm.
interested to hearing that in 5.1,
Yeah, definitely,
you know.
definitely.
But this is as well. This is another Stephen Wilk masterpiece box set that I highly recommend everyone ordering, even if you're just a just
Yeah,
that's what told this was from 19.
it's a good choice. That's a good choice. My number nine, ladies and gentlemen, is A, uh, released August 29th, 1980. This was seen was sorry, this was supposed to be an Ian Anderson solo album. Um, Chrysalis Records, Terry Ellis, who was Chrysalis Records, suggested strongly that it be released as a Jethro Tull album featuring Eddie Jobson on keyboards and also I do believe violin. Eddie Jobson um, was had listed himself as a special guest
Mm,
on the album, not as an official member. Obviously he planned to fly the coop. You know what I mean?
right.
Um, I do believe that the only member that remained from like the 70s, Aqua Lung lineup was Martin Barr on guitar. Um, it's a good album. Um,
Another transitional album for him as well.
very much so. Very much so. You could, yeah. Um, it's good. Uh, Fantastic keyboards on this. S Songs of note for me are, Crossfire, Flying Dale Flyer, Working John, Working Joe, Black Sunday is another good one, Protect and Survive. The only track on this album that harkens back to Jethro Tull of yesteryear, in the 70s, is the Pine Martin's Jig, which is the instrumental,
Mm,
you know. But there's flute all over the place. I've always said I was going to call him Jethro Tull. See, um, Ian Anderson plays a flute like Jimi Hendrix does a guitar solo. I mean, he's all over the place with the
mm,
flute, right?
yeah.
It is a good album. Um, Ian Anderson is still pissed off that this was a Jethro Tull album and not an Ian Anderson album because he obviously saw the two careers different as
Mm,
two different entities. But you know what? That's what happens when you bow down to record company pressure, right?
it's true.
So that's my number nine.
Okay.
Back over to Warren.
Right. For my number 8, we're going to go to 19 Stormwatch.
Ah,
I haven't broken the seal on this one yet, folks.
I noticed that. What the hell,
Yeah,
man?
I know. I don't know. I am, but I've had the vinyl. Bought this when it came out in '79, and I was going to rank it higher, but I just didn't. But I do love this album. No, we're talking about transitional albums. The album before this, Heavy Horses, which beginning the songs from the Wood period. I think
Mhm.
this is an excellent album to close out the
Fantastic.
Warm Watch. I love the track Arcade, Dun Ringgill, Elegy, Flying Dutchman. It's great, and I can't wait to hear bonus stuff on it. Yeah, I bought this when it came out in 2019. I believe this was released,
Mhm.
this deluxe set. And Warm Watch by Jethro Tull is a really great record. This was another one I got from Columbia.
Okay. Yeah.
They kept everybody in America and Canada. Plenty of music. There was no excuse,
Mhm.
right? When you can get 10 for a penny or whatever it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you buy so many more years.
Yeah. Columbia Record and Tape Club, Columbia House. They were an entity for quite a while,
A
and
long time.
I I
Yeah.
too I too was a member of the club for a while, and getting the cassettes and
Maybe
uh,
we'll do an episode on that someday too.
maybe we should. Yeah, we should
Yeah,
should do that. Yeah, I'll do a bit
totally.
of I'll do some research on that. We'll
Absolutely.
discuss it. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Um,
my number 8, Stormwatch.
Stormwatch is a good choice. That box set that you have, the Stormwatch box set, sorry, the second disc is unreleased stuff and alternate versions of other tracks from the album. To me, that the second disc could have been released as an album itself. Like that, what they could have with they could have gone one step further and released a double disc version of the original album plus the bonus material because the bonus material is just as good. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you out there who don't know, we are not talking about demos. We are not talking about snippets of tracks here and there. We are talking about fully fledged, recorded, mixed, engineered, mastered tracks that were sitting in the vault for years. In my honest, humble opinion, I should say, they missed a step by not releasing like a double disc of Stormwatch, as a deluxe edition, like a double disc deluxe edition, because that could have
Mhm.
been a double album easily.
Sure.
But you'd think I was a fan, right?
Yeah.
Of the album. But no, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Amazing, amazing. My number 8, ladies and gentlemen, we must carry on, is the Broadsword and the Beast,
Okay.
released April 9th, 1982. Uh, this was the first album that was produced by an outside producer. Ian Anderson, from the onset of Jethro Tull, from the beginning, produced all the albums. They were going to work with Bob Ezrin, and again, the request for working with an outside producer came from Chrysalis Records and Terry Ellis. They wanted, I guess, Jethro Tull to have more of an updated sound, modern sound. They were going to work with Bob Ezrin, but he had to drop out. Then they were going to work with Keith Olsen, who had produced the Fleetwood Mac White album. Um, and he proved to be combative with Ian Anderson in the studio. And who's going to win out if you're going up against Ian Anderson, you know, for producing his work, right? So they settled on Paul Samuel Smith. This is a good album. It mixes the the arrangements that they did in the 70s, like the acoustic arrangements, but there's more use of keyboards on this album and
Mhm.
more of an updated drum sound, like,
Yeah. A had a lot of keyboards on it too, right?
yeah,
Or
yeah, this
keyboard
even more
oriented.
so. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. um Songs of note are for me Beastie. um the Beastie's one, first track off the album. Clasp, Falling on Hard Times, which is a single. Flying Colors, Slow Marching Band. I believe that's side one. Side two, you have
Mhm.
Broadsword, Pussy Willow. Won't go there. Watching Me, Watching You. Okay. And which is a good one too. Seal Driver, and it ends off with the minute plus track Cheerio. Now, out of the original, just quickly, out of the original recordings that they did for this album, sorry, there were 15 tracks. Out of those 15 tracks, only Watching Me, Watching You survived.
Huh.
And he put those other tracks aside because he didn't feel like they were fitting with the theme of the album that he was
Mhm.
going for. Okay.
Okay.
If you get the box set of Broadsword and the Beast, there is a second disc of 21 tracks unreleased. Okay.
I think that one's still available for a decent
It
price, isn't it?
it
Yeah.
is. It is.
I don't have that one yet.
Yeah, no, you should get it.
Yeah. I had
Um,
to have the vinyl with it.
yeah, no, you should get it. It is fantastic. And each of these book editions, these box sets, also come with full concerts. Some of them come with videos of the
Mhm.
concerts, like of the performances, but the concerts are included. The bonus concerts are included on every, pretty much every package.
Right.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
yeah. That's my number eight.
Awesome. Was this will be my number seven to go with me 5's Golden Calendar.
Ah, Minstrels in the Gallery. Okay, Minstrel in the
Oh, let
Gallery.
me put it in front of me. There you
There
go.
we
Can y'all
go.
see
There we go.
that?
Yeah,
Okay. And this is all the ones that I'm presenting today. Stephen Wolf books.
yeah. Stephen Wilson
This,
mix. Yeah.
out of all the ones that I love, this one is my favorite, especially the concert, which is insane. Recorded in Paris, July of 1975. There is a version of Locomotive Breath on here that's about 11 or 12 minutes. Incredible.
Mhm.
Amazing drum solo. This one, is that Barrymore Barlow? Was he the drummer on this record?
I believe so. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Monster. He's always had great drummers. My God, this is just a concert alone. This kicks my butt. I mean, and I love the album, of course. The album version of Miss Polly Company. I just can't describe it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. This is a great album.
Hmm.
I love Miss Polly Gallery. I always seem to reach for this,
Hmm.
and then and if you can pick up this one at a decent price, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I got a couple of copies on mine.
Yeah. So do I.
I got stuff.
Sorry, you dropped out there again. Sorry.
I said I still have stuff I haven't even opened.
Yeah. Same
You know,
here.
that's the collect.
Yeah, it's the
Buy a
collector
bunch
in
of
both.
stuff and put it away. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
It's
know,
the collector in both of us. Because
but
I
there's also a downside to that too. Like if I wait a year and if it's defected, then I can't return it. That's the
exactly.
downside.
Exactly. I mean, just a little side note. I don't know about you, but and guys out there, I mean, but for me, if I buy an album or a box set, I have every intention of listening to it and like
Hmm.
all the way through
Hmm.
and enjoying it. And I do
Yeah.
most of the time. But there are times when you get sidetracked, you get distracted, you move on to you have to move on to something else or something else
Hmm.
takes up your time, and then you move on. Oh, something else new is coming out,
Yeah.
and move on to that. So what
Right.
you bought 3 months ago sits in a neat pile. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like,
that's
and
right.
yeah, and all of the sets that Warren is showing you guys, with the exception of a passion play, I have, but they're in the other room. They're in the den, and I haven't been able to pull them out yet. Yeah, see, fantastic, fantastic. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In this pristine condition.
And you know what? They're easy access, especially for
Yes.
someone that has issues with their hand, like myself.
Hmm.
They're easy to open, easy to pull out the CDs,
Yes.
and there is like information galore on
Yeah.
on the recording and stuff. Fantastic. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Yes.
My number seven, ladies and gentlemen, is War Child.
Excellent.
Released October 14th, 1974. Um, the iconic cover with uh, the it's a city shot of Sydney, I think, in Australia, and then you have like the negative sort of overlay shot of Ian Anderson, right, in action, right, with this kind of thing. And by the way, if you want to get the box set for this, it's $450
Mm.
right now. Um, It is a good album. For me, my favorite songs are, Title Track, War Child, uh, Queen of Country, Ladies, Backdoor Angels. Um, it's a fantastic album. It continues with to an extent what they were doing with the Passion Play. Now, for just as a little side note, you have the two albums, Thick as a Brick and Passion Play, that have the two tracks. that take up both sides of the albums. He only wanted to do that one time, at least a couple of
Mhm.
times to get that out of his system. And the history of Thick as a Brick was that, and I've said this on another show, was that excuse me, Ian Anderson got really pissed off with the critics when they referred to Aqualung as a progressive rock album, as a concept album. He didn't see Jethro Tull as a progressive rock band, i.e.,
Hmm.
Yes or King Crimson. So
Right.
he purposely sat down and wrote an extended piece of music. We're going to ignore the phone, an extended piece of music. And he thought, okay, you guys are thinking me, you think that we're a progressive rock band. I'm going to show you. And he actually purposely sat down to write both Thick as a Brick, and then he continued it with a passion play. But after that, he went back to the usual format of writing, you know,
Hmm.
average length songs and stuff. But that's a bit of history. But with War Child, he does continue with what he was doing on Passion Play. Fantastic instrumentation on the album, fantastic guitar work um, from Martin Barr on this. And other songs I know from the album are Bungle in the Jungle, and Only Solitaire, which ends off the album. So yeah, that's my number seven,
Good
War Child.
choice.
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry
gonna
about your
move.
message.
It's okay. Here's another one that I bought in '77 on vinyl.
Yeah.
Songs from the Wood. There's another Stephen Wilson box that I have.
He still has in the wrapper.
Yeah, I bought it, and when it came out in 2017, I haven't opened it. So I can't comment on the bonus stuff, which I know will be great, but I can comment on the end. This is my number six. Right. The title cut, Velvet Green,
Yeah, you broke
Rock
up there a little
Station.
bit.
What's that?
You broke up there a little bit. The audio.
Oh,
Yeah.
Velvet Green, Whistler,
Yeah.
Fire at Midnight. Just a great record. The rock station I grew up with back. That's how I found out about it. And this was actually the first album I ever bought from Jethro Tull. 7. Then after that, I bought Aqualung. So I discovered this before I even knew about Aqualung.
Oh, okay. All right.
So but then we're talking 1977.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm looking forward to listening to the bonus material whenever I get around to opening it up. Sure,
The
there's people that'll comment in the comment section.
the concert is amazing.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. This was a record, Bob.
Yeah.
I should have went higher than.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my number six.
That's a good one. That's a good one. There's also a video performance of the concert that's on CD. It's on CD
Mm-hmm.
and video,
Okay.
and it's pro shot. It's not like a bootleg grainy
Is that the
performance.
same tour? Bursting
Yeah.
Out is the
And
Songs from the Wood tour, right?
the year before, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be getting a deluxe box piece next month,
Yes,
which I pre-ordered.
yes, so have I, ladies and gentlemen. Busting out.
Bursting Out or Busting Out, one of the two.
Bursting out, sorry, bursting
Bursting
out
Out.
live is coming out in a box set format, uh, much like the studio albums. It's
Mm-hmm.
being remixed. It's remixed by Steven Wilson. It's coming out in a 6-disc format
Mm-hmm.
and in a book format also. And it's coming out uh, June 14th.
Okay.
So if you want to get it through Amazon.ca, it's at this point with taxes 99.95, which is a good deal.
By the way,
Yes.
this is, I guess, been reissued again because you this now for a decent price, 40.
Oh,
It
is it?
was out of print for a while. It was going for. They
So,
must have released some more.
okay. How much was it? You cut out there again. How much was it going?
$46
Okay. And then,
on Amazon.
okay, the reissue, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They must have released some more because about 6 months after this was released, it sold out immediately,
Yeah.
and then it was 300-400 bucks for one. But
Yeah.
now that's
See?
changed.
See? Yeah. Yeah. They'll go every once every few months they'll reissue the
Yeah.
sets again, you know.
Well, I'm hoping they're going to do stand up because I missed that
Yeah, I know I missed that one as well.
one. That one's
Uh,
still ridiculously
yeah, no, true, true. That's a good
right.
choice. That's a good choice. My number six, ladies and gentlemen, is Heavy Horses. Released April 18th, 1978. This is the second part of the trilogy of the 70s albums. First one was Songs from the Wood from 77, Heavy Horses, and it concluded with Stormwatch. Uh, I was reading up on this album. I kind of look at these three albums as seasons. Like to me, Songs from the Wood is a fall album. Like, you know, early October or mid-October when the weather starts to change and gets cold outside and the leaves are falling. Heavy Horses is a spring album to me, kind of April,
Right.
May. Um, and again, Stormwatch is a
Winter.
winter album, right?
Definitely.
So you have the three cycles there, right?
Kind of like Songs from the Wood. I
Sorry?
always looked at that. I always
Yeah,
looked at Songs from the Wood.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, I was reading about upon this album, and apparently this was because if you listen to Ian Anderson's voice, it has a bit of a husky quality to his voice on the album. And this was, according to the research I did, this was where his vocal problems were starting to happen
Mhm.
due to COPD, right? So on this album, you have the title track, fantastic, 8 minutes plus, um, and the Mouse Police Never Sleeps, the lead off track, fantastic. Again, very much in tune with what they were doing with the previous albums with, like the minstrel influences and stuff like that. Just a fantastic album. No
Mhm.
Lullabies, another good one. Moths, fantastic also.
Mhm.
Journeyman, which ends off side one, fantastic. One Brown Mouse, which featured quite heavily on the tours after this album. And Weathercock, no pun intended. But I mean, yeah, I mean, fantastic album. And a little footnote too. Ian Anderson said that when he took the photos with the two horses, walking with the two horses, he was scared shitless because the horses were so huge. He thought they were
Right.
going to trample him. Right.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, it was good. It's a good album. It's a good album. Um, and yeah, you should really check it out. And again, this is also available as a box set in the book format.
Yes. Definitely. I don't know if is it still available or is it?
In some form, yeah. I mean, if you want to pay for the again,
Yeah, if you want to pay that crazy price, yeah.
yeah,
But there's
exactly.
people out there with deep pockets. I guess they
Yeah,
will.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a market, right? There's a
Yeah.
market. Yeah.
Okay. So my number five,
Yes.
War Child,
Ah,
1974. This is the first album I ever saw by Jethro Tull. I just think it's a cool album cover.
it is.
You got this guy with long hair, intrigued by the album cover
Hmm.
um, from my neighbor. But yeah, this is a fantastic record. Beginning with the title cut, Backdoor Angels, Sea Lions. There's one of my favorites that was added as a bonus, Paradise Steakhouse. You know that song, Paradise Steakhouse?
Hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
bonus from these sessions. That is actually, I don't know why they didn't add that to the album,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen him, but
Hmm.
I was a bit too young for concert.
Yeah.
But I guess in a way, this is a transitional album too, isn't it?
Yeah,
After Passion Play,
yeah, yeah,
because I read he got a lot of heat for Passion,
yeah, yeah, he did. He people saw it as too indulgent. Like,
right?
you know what I mean? Like, okay, you made an album in 72 with one track on two sides. Now you're gonna do it
Yes,
again, right? And
yeah,
uh and I'm sure people thought for someone who says that they're not a progressive rock band, what are you doing during a progressive rock kind of album? You know what I mean? So
right.
like, with one track on both sides. So, I can see that. Yeah.
Totally. But just the album alone is amazing. But all this bonus material is just a treasure trove. Really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it is.
If you get a chance, pick up this version. Stephen Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's my number five.
that's a good choice. And for those of you who probably don't know, there is a vinyl version of War Child 2, which is a Steve
I
Wilson remix
I have not heard that.
who uh they who did the remixes, and it contains not all but some of the unreleased material from the box set, but it's only released on vinyl, unfortunately. And I'm not paying $50
Right.
for an album. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
refuse. I refuse. So that no, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. I like the fact that our numbers are quite different, right?
Yeah. Very different.
Yeah. Yeah. My number five, we must carry on, ladies and gentlemen, is Thick as a Brick. Okay. Um, and again, this is progressive rock. I don't care what you say. Ian Anderson, you can say until you're blue in the face that you're not a progressive rock band. You're a progressive rock band. I'm sorry. Released March 3rd, 1972. Uh, one track divvied up into two parts, part one and part two, obviously, based on a poem about a fictional character named Gerald Bostock. Okay. And it starts off very gentle, like with the flute and the guitar passage, with the lyric, I really don't mind if you sit this one out.
Mhm.
And as it goes along, you hear, stabs of electric guitar and drums and then when it when they start, I've said this before, when the band kicks in, they kick in and they go like 100 miles an hour right for the wall and they go right through the
Mhm.
wall kind of thing. It's like they
Yeah.
don't stop until they want to stop. And you
Yeah.
literally are like holding on like a roller coaster. You have to hold
Mhm.
on, and go for the ride, right? Um,
Totally.
uh, it is gentle, it is acoustic, it is poetic, it is uh, massive, it is frenetic, chaotic, but it all makes sense, you know. Um, and I'm surprised it was lower on my list. All right, but
Me
that is
too.
my number five. And
Okay.
and for those of you who are lucky enough to have the original reprise Chrysalis record release from 72, it came in a newspaper
It
layout.
did. Yes.
And I have it. I bought it. Like, and and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, it's an actual newspaper layout.
Hmm.
The record is wrapped in a newspaper.
Yeah. Nothing was ever done at that time like that. That was
And
very
I
unique.
mean, like, unreal,
Yeah.
right? And I should also say too that the box set version of this Steven Wilson remix has also been re-released, and I
Hmm.
was lucky enough to get it for like $71. So there you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Totally.
No, really good price.
I'm at number five now. No, number four.
Number four.
You got number four. Ready?
Ah,
Aqualung,
hmm.
1971.
Yep,
Excellent as always. Another incredible release by Stephen Wilson. I know we're just doing the regular albums,
yep,
but my first time I bought this album was in 1978, 7 years after it was released. and I just fell in love with it. This was going to be higher, but kept it at number 4. What do you say about this album that hasn't already been said? Every song, there's no filler on it, and
Yeah,
beginning with the title cut right on it to wind up. One of my personal favorites is Hymn 43. I still get the airplay on album rock station out here. Once in a while, they'll play Hymn 43. And My God, I know there's a lot of different versions of My God.
yeah,
That was also in the Isle of Wight concert, that live show from 1970, which
yeah,
was what, a year before it was even released. Even
yeah, yeah,
it's just, yeah, this is really an amazing record. Remember showing the album to my grandmother. God rest her soul, good woman, and she was reading some of the literature which she disagreed with the blasphemy thing.
yeah.
That some of the stuff that I guess he was, I don't know, his religious beliefs were.
Mhm.
He's was pretty vocal about it on the iPhone. I just think it's really
Yeah,
good. And plus, there's some great. Uh, there's another flat transfer of the album on it too,
yeah.
as well as a original EP of "Life Is a Long Song." You have this one too, don't you?
Yeah, I got it.
Well, no,
Yeah,
you got this.
when it was reissued again, I was able to get it
Right.
for like $50 or something. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it's well worth $50.
yeah,
This is definitely my number 4. Aqualung, which is his what, fourth studio album?
yeah, yeah,
That's my number 4, and I'm taking it now.
yeah.
I could
No, it's a
change it
good,
at any time.
and it's a good choice. It's a
Yeah.
good choice. Um, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I first heard Aqualung when I was gonna say my age. Forget that. I was 28. It was 1998,
Yeah.
and I bought it on CD or someone bought it for me on CD for the first time. But it
That was a
really didn't.
nice gift.
Yeah, but it really didn't connect with me until later on, you know.
Okay.
And that's how it is.
Yeah,
Music connects with you when it's supposed to,
exactly.
right? So,
We
yeah,
maybe we'll
no,
do a show in the future on albums we bought when they first come out and then catch them until many years later.
yeah, yeah, no, you're coming up with some good ideas here for shows.
I could think of many of those.
Yeah, no, 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 it's true, it's true. No,
Yeah.
it's a good choice. My number four is, ladies and gentlemen, Stormwatch.
Okay. Excellent.
Released September 14th, 1979. The third in the trilogy of the 70s albums, first being obviously Songs from the Wood,
Mhm.
followed by Heavy Horses, and finishing with Stormwatch. I love the production on this album. All three of the albums, but the production on this album, the drums are bloody loud.
Mhm.
The snare drum is really rich and thick and like just prominent.
Yeah.
Um, just an amazing album. If you can get the Force 10 box set that Warren has, it has yet to be unwrapped, you would not be disappointed. There is a full concert on here. It's
Mhm.
also available on DVD, like I think as in whatever, uh format it is on a DVD. There's too many formats to remember. 5.1.
Yeah. DVD, audio, Blu-ray,
Yeah, exactly. And
Dolby Atmos.
yeah, and the second disc, as I said, is additional tracks that were done for the recording sessions. There's a full version of Dark Ages,
Mhm.
which is like 11 minutes and 59 seconds
Right.
low.
That's
Uh,
longer than the original one,
yes.
right? Yeah.
So,
That's
I
three
mean,
albums.
and yeah, and I'll go through the album with you here. North Oil Sea,
Hmm.
fantastic lead off track. Home is another one, Dark Ages. Warm Speron, which is the instrumental, which ends off side one. Something's sorry, something's on the move. My eyes are doing bad today. Old
Great
Ghost,
song.
yeah, Old Ghost is another one.
Mhm.
Dunrungill is another good track. Flying Dutchman, and the final instrumental elegy. Beautiful little, simple piece written by D. Palmer.
Mhm.
Beautiful album. I mean, literally, if you want to put an album on and just sit back and relax and
It
just
just
let yourself go,
takes you on a journey. Yeah,
this is the album. This is the
definitely.
album. No, I'm
Great
telling
headphone music.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've said this on other episodes. I'm one for putting on an album and just turning off the lights, and the only light coming in the room is the lights off the components from the stereo,
Mm.
right? You just sit back and close your eyes. You're out on a journey. Okay, you're
Yeah.
flying, right?
Yeah.
This is one of those albums. So yeah, that's my
Definitely.
number four.
Awesome. Okay, my number three is Thick as a Brick.
Ah, okay.
Um, X, another great Stephen Wilson box set. Not really much bonus material though. There's just
Yeah, yeah,
the DVD of different versions of the album, 5.1, regular stereo mix, but no outtakes or anything like or concerts. But regardless, I was glad that they reissued this one because I missed it the first time around. When it was originally released in 2012 on the
yeah. So did
40th,
I. Yeah,
and then it went out of print immediately, and it was 400 or 500 bucks. And
yeah,
then about 2 years ago, I want to say they reissued it, and I got a good copy for 45 bucks.
yeah.
Brand
I
new.
got mine for like 71. Yeah,
Right. So, I mean, what do you say? It's two songs per song per album. Really, it's just
it
I
is.
never get tired of this record. Thick as a
Mhm.
Brick is amazing from start.
Yeah.
And
No, it's good.
yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. About It's just incredible. My number three.
No, no, there's not much to be said, like you
I
said.
know. Oh, and I also have a mobile fidelity copy I bought on CD too many years ago on old CD. Mobile fidelity is one of those
Yeah, yeah.
audio file, and I have a copy of that also.
That's good. No, that's good.
Yes, so I have like three different formats for that.
Yeah. No, it's good. Good
Yeah, and
choice.
I have an original
And so
copy too.
you dropped out
That
again.
I have original reprise copy on vinyl too that I
Ooh.
bought many years ago,
Oh yeah.
probably
Okay.
35 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, for people who don't know, the original first pressings of the early albums like Stand Up
Very
and
first, yeah,
yeah, and Aqualung
yes,
were originally released through Reprise Records
correct. Before Chrysalis,
in
that's
association
right,
with Chrysalis. Yes.
right, correct.
Where you would have the Reprise label with the little
Yeah,
Chrysalis logo, you know.
he
Uh,
when did he switch over to Chrysalis? 73,
um, yeah,
74?
73
Okay, what I thought.
with a passion play.
Okay,
That was when
okay,
Chrysalis actually had their own label and their
right,
offices and
right.
yeah,
They had a lot of great artists.
yeah. Well, little side note, one artist that was courted by Chrysalis to sign with them was Queen.
Oh
When they,
wow, I
when they
did hear something about that, but I need to.
yeah, when they first started out, and they opted to go with the EMI Parlophone in
Okay,
the UK. So yeah,
and in the U.S. and Canada was Electra, their own Electra.
yeah, Electra, yeah,
Yeah,
from 73 to 82. Yeah,
oh, that was
yeah.
a great run, wasn't it?
Well, I thought so, but I guess Electra didn't at the end because they let them go.
Yeah,
Really, I mean, they gave them a bad contract offer for after Hot
right.
Springs came out. So I mean, yeah,
Uh,
you know, as
I
Roger
didn't get the full story.
Yeah, no, well, as Roger Taylor said about the new deal with Elektra after Hot Space, it shocked. SCH.
Mm,
SH.
okay.
He didn't say it just shocked, right? He didn't like it at all. So that's a good choice. My number three, ladies and gentlemen, is Minstrel in the Gallery. Released September 8th, 1975. What's to be said about this album except that it's fucking great? I'm sorry,
Mm.
it's a great album. The title cut, Cold Wind of Valhalla, Black Satin Dancer, Requiem, the 16-minute plus suite, Black Street Baker Street Muse. Sorry, not Black Street. It's been one of those days, guys. Baker Street Muse, and it ends off with Grace. You know, good album. Um, it's I think I'm probably going to get flack for this, but I think this album should get more mention than it does. I think it's a good, solid album, much
Do
like
too.
much like um Aqualung. So that's my number three.
Mhm. Definitely.
So yeah.
I love that.
Right. Your number two?
Okay. My number two is Stand Up.
Stand Up. There you go.
1960. I bought this one about 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
This is not, I'm still in search of a good price on a Stephen Wilson set and missed it the first time around. And it's still very expensive, but I'm happy with this for now.
Mm-hmm.
This also has a concert. But what's weird about this album came out in 69. Concert is from 1970, which is more of the benefit. But the Stephen Wilson box set has the 1999 concert.
Okay.
I've been, I've been,
Okay.
in the wild.
Yeah.
Stand Up to me is an honor, and I love every song. New Day Yesterday, Nothing Is Easy, Fat Man, We Used to Know. One of my favorites is For a Thousand Mothers. So pretty.
Okay.
I mean, wait, I think this is also a traditional album too. Because as you know, the first album was more blues rock, and
Yeah.
they were starting to get more experimental on this record.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Sorry, you dropped
What's
out.
your opinion on this album here? Stand Up.
I honestly haven't heard much of it.
Okay, it's my number two.
Yeah, no, no, no. And if it's your number two, that means I got to check it out.
It was almost going to be number one, but I always toss it up between this one and the other.
Yeah, yeah, no.
That could change.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
That's the good thing about these lists. I mean, they don't have to stay the same. You can always
that's
change
right.
them. You know,
That's right.
music hits you differently at different times.
It's true. That's
You
very
know,
true.
I mean, I've always said that, me being a big fan of Queen, people automatically think that my number one album would be A Night at the Opera, right?
Mhm.
I love A Night at the Opera. I think it's fantastic. It is a masterpiece. But I have an emotional connection to Queen too,
So do I. That and Sure Heart Attack.
right? That is my no Queen 2 is my number one album. And it will be my number
Incredible.
one album until I die, you
There you
know.
go. That's a
Um,
great choice.
so yeah, so you never know with these lists, right? And
That's true.
that's the good thing about having these lists. They can
Hmm.
always change. So
Right.
my number two, we're getting into the we're closing it up, ladies and gentlemen. My number two is Aqualung. Released March 19th, 1971, considered to be the quintessential definitive Jethro Tull album by, I would imagine, many. Fantastic album. Um,
You have the Stephen Wilson box set on that too, right?
yes, I do. All of my box sets are in the den, guys. So
Awesome.
um, I forgot to ask Bob to help me pull them out so I can show them to you. Um, Again, people consider this to be the quintessential Jethro Tull album. You know, I don't
Certainly
agree.
his most popular.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, it's still played on rock radio today on
Sure.
rock radio,
Yeah.
and not just the title track. Like Hymn 43 is still
Right.
played.
Cross-eyed Mary.
Wandering Out Loud is still played.
Hmm.
Cheap Day Return.
Yeah.
Mother Goose,
Yes.
Slipstream, Hymn
Every
43.
song.
My God.
Every song.
You know,
Right.
Locomotive Breath, Wind Up. All of these
Mhm.
songs from this album are still played on rock radio today, on FM rock radio.
Mhm.
And why not? It's a fantastic album. Some people consider this to be a concept album. The band would disagree. They said that, okay, there are 11 tracks here that have a bit of a connecting thread, but then it's not a concept album per se, which is what pissed
Mhm.
off Ian Anderson in the first place. But yeah, I think it's just an amazing album. I'll get your opinion on this in a second. I'll ask this question before we end it off. But yeah, that is my number two. So,
A
moment
great
of
number
truth.
two. What's that?
Moment of truth. You're number one.
Okay, are you ready for my number one?
I'm ready.
Good. I think this was your number nine or your number 10. My number one.
Oh,
Benefits my number one.
really?
Are you surprised?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. Yes and no,
I
but yeah, yeah. I'm
I
surprised.
love this album from start to finish. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the song, you were mentioning some songs earlier with You There to Help Me, Nothing to Say.
Yeah,
For Michael Collins, Jeffrey and Me, the song Playing Time is just out of
yeah,
this world. And that's just the album alone. But all the bonus material on here, they
yeah.
have the Live at Tanglewood show on here, I believe, in its entirety on this. This is the
Yes,
audio portion. I don't think it's the DVD, is it?
yes, they do.
Oh, it is the DVD too. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
with what seems to be like a 20-minute drum solo from Glenn Burke
Yeah.
on
This
there.
is yeah. I mean, this one was also one that was reissued later
Yeah,
because I fell asleep at the wheel when it first came out. I'm
yeah,
so glad I got it for 35 bucks brand new
yeah,
2 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, Benefit is my number one.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. My
I,
only,
I like the heaviness of it. Very
yeah,
guitar oriented.
yeah,
And
very,
it's got some proggy.
sorry, you broke up
It
there.
has some proggy moments on it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, my only, I guess, issue with it was that I think it's on the second disc. The songs are repeated. Like there's a stereo mix, a
All
mono,
right. Yeah.
um, a UK mix, a US mix of the same track over and over again. And I remember listening to it because I was gonna be on a show about this. I kept thinking, is this ever gonna end? Like, is they ever gonna put like
Yeah.
songs
That
on?
can be a little annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But that's really my only complaint. And they do a version of My God, in, I believe, in concert on this tour. Um, they have, I think they wrote My God way before they
Hmm. They
recorded
did.
Aqualung. Yeah,
Yeah, they were playing it before they even
yeah, yeah.
concert, which I guess a lot of bands did that back then.
Yeah. Oh, and a little side note, guys. During uh Clem Burke's drum solo, the band went outside for a drink and a smoke, right?
Clyde Bunker,
Oh, Clive Bunker, sorry. Clive Bunker. My fault.
great drummer.
Yeah. Um, they went out for a smoke and a drink during Clive's solo. Well, they got locked out of the venue. They went out the stage door, the side door, and they got locked out.
Mm,
So he's doing the drum solo. Burke is doing the drum solo. Uh, and no, they were supposed to come back on stage at the end of the solo. Well,
right.
they couldn't get back in. So
Yeah.
they're banging on the door to let them, be let in. And uh Clive Burke finishes his solo and he's like, well, where is everybody? Because it's supposed to come on and finish what they're doing. So when they finally meet up, like when they finally get let in, they talk to him after the show, you know, and they're like, well, we just went outside for a smoke, we got locked out. What were we supposed to do? And Clive Burke says, you're supposed to stay and listen to the fucking solo, is what you're supposed to do. And come back on when you're supposed to, kind of thing, right? So like Ian Anderson, who is a stickler for perfection,
Mm.
screwed up, right? But there you go, right? So
Wow.
no,
I did not
that's
know that.
it. Yeah, if you read it in the notes, like in the
Okay.
essays, it's
I'll have to
listed
read
there. Oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny, and that does that. I was watching it. I was watching the video, and I did not off. I did fall asleep watching it because the drum solo is so long.
It's too long for you. Yeah.
Like I mean, it's good, but it's long. I mean, um,
Yeah.
okay, my number one moment of truth.
Yes. Drum roll, please.
Yes, if I could play drums. Yes, songs from the wood.
All right. Excellent.
released February 11th, 1977. I've said before, to me, this is a winter album. This is a fantastic album. Even the atmosphere, like it's very atmospheric, sorry, in terms of even the artwork, him sitting in the woods, by a fire. Um, the title track is fantastic. Jack in the Green is another fantastic piece of work. Cup of Wonder, Hunting
Mhm.
Girl, fantastic song. Uh, Ring Out Solstice Bells, which ends off
Mhm.
side one. If that's not a winter track or a Christmas track, I don't know what the
Right.
hell is. Uh,
Totally.
Velvet Green, The Whistler, um, Pie I guess that's the name of it.
Hmm.
Uh, Cup in Hand, and the beautiful, exquisite Fire at Midnight.
Yes. Great closer.
That's what I like about his albums. I mean, he's got fantastic closers, much like Pat Metheny,
Hmm.
right? Pat Metheny, when he does his albums, he usually has a beautiful either piano based, very soft number to end. Very much, and Jethro Tull's the same way. Ian Anderson knows how to pick his album closers. For me,
Yeah.
when I hear Fire at Midnight, I'm thinking, okay, I've been out for the day. I come home from work. I'm tired, or I've been at the gym. Yes, I do work out, guys. Um, you know, I'm tired. I just want to come home, get
Mm.
warm under the covers of a blanket, or to get in bed and just chill, watch TV, and just sort of relax and just take it easy for the rest of the day or the evening, and this track, Fire at Midnight, is very much like that. It's very much like that. It is
It is.
exquisite. It is beautiful. It is
Yes.
simplistic in the arrangement, but powerful in its delivery. Like amazing, amazing, amazing,
Totally.
amazing. So there you have it, our top 10. Now we're going to give you each an honorable mention. So, Warren, what is
Okay.
your honorable
Hey,
mention?
this is going to be number three. Ready for this?
Ah,
I love this record, and it gets a lot of heat, but
it
I
does.
I love this album, and especially songs like Quiz Kid, Taxi Grab, Big Dipper. This is just, in my opinion, I love this album. I think it doesn't get the credit it deserves. I think it's kind of got lost in the shuffle somewhere. You never hear that mentioned that
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
I think it's dynamite. And I actually find myself listening to this more than any other.
really.
Yeah, honestly,
Okay, I'm gonna
most
get
people
a
are
copy.
surprised by that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I highly recommend it.
See,
And this
from
is
what
like, did you have this box?
no, I want to get it though, but I'll see how much it is. I don't think it's that much, but I'll see.
Probably not, because it wasn't a big,
Yeah.
I don't think it charted that high. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it did, but it was just kind of there and it went away.
Hmm.
I don't even know if he really does, even years after, I don't think he hardly did anything from the album except for maybe Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die, the title track. That's about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing a video for that. But yeah, I will get that. I'm gonna look into getting the album
Yeah,
actually.
I think it's phenomenal. And it
So
connected with me later.
you broke up there. Can you
Yeah, yeah.
repeat?
It's one of those albums when I first heard it, it didn't really connect with me until years later. And then it connected with me more.
No.
I remember back when Sirius satellite radio first started back in 2000.
Hmm.
I mainly signed up for that channel Deep Tracks, like all the albums.
Yeah, I did too
Yeah,
originally.
yeah. And they played that song, the Taxi Grab, and I went, oh, that's neat. I forgot what album that's from, and it was from this album. So I went out and started listening to it,
Hmm.
and I reconnected with it.
Okay.
And I don't know why I didn't add it to the list, but many other good stuff to choose from. So, too old to rock and roll, too young to
Too young
die.
to die. Yeah, yeah,
Honorable mention. I was going to do that.
yeah. Yeah, no, no, no. It's a good choice. It's a good
But what
choice.
I haven't opened Heavy Horses up. That's brand new.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You're like me. You're like me. Okay, guys. My honorable mention is A Passion Play.
Oh, awesome.
Uh, Released July 13th, 1973, the same day that Queen released their debut release.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Yeah. When I saw the
Very
date,
cool.
I'm like, oh, okay, I know that date. I may have been 3 years old, but I remember doing my research on that. Concept album again, much to Ian Anderson's dislike or dismay. Track split into two sections. Uh, a fantastic piece of work, very rocking. There's not many versions. There's two versions of this album. The original version does not feature the hair that lost its spectacles, uh,
Oh,
which to me, I think it's a fantastic piece of work. I think it's a rocking album. It's intricate. It's um, almost orchestral in some spots, very sort of layered and textured. I think the hair that lost its spectacles. I think that kind of breaks up the flow of the album.
mhm. Yeah,
Um,
I
I
see
just
that. Yeah.
I don't understand that why they do that. If you like it,
Right.
you like it. That's great.
Yeah.
I just think that having the original version music with just the music and the vocals, I think it flows better that way. Um, and yeah, I mean, this is an honorable mention, but I would put this slightly ahead of Thick as a Brick.
Yeah.
Again, it's just my opinion.
Sure.
The only way, well, one of the two ways you can get the original version of A Passion Play is through the box set that is, you know, too much for me to afford, or you can get the um I call it the Chateau Disaster tapes that's been reissued on
That's a great
vinyl.
name.
On vinyl. I'm not paying $50 for that for vinyl, but you can get that on
Yeah.
vinyl now. Hopefully they'll reissue that on CD at some point.
Right.
But the only reason why they haven't reissued it so far is because it's available on the box set, right?
Which is expensive now. I just
So you cut out there
bucks.
again.
I said I just checked the price. Box said it's 300.
How much is it? Sorry.
300
300. That's
for,
American. See?
for the yeah American.
Sorry, you broke up again.
How much difference is that in Canadian dollars?
300 American, depending on the rate of exchange. At this point, it would be 516.
Much different
Yeah. Yeah. So,
difference.
yeah. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's quite expensive. It
Yeah.
is quite expensive. So there you have it, guys. Our Jethro Tull top 10 list, 20 albums each, plus one honorable mention each.
Thank
Please
you.
put in the comments down below, down there, what your favorite Jethro Tull albums are. Could be ones from the list, could be ones not from the list, whatever ones, right? There are no right or wrong answers, just opinions. And, I mean, hopefully you found something new that you may not have heard yet, right? you know, for those few of you who have not heard anything from Jethro Tull. Anyways, I want to thank Warren Bunn for joining me on this episode of
Thank you for having me.
10 Jethro Tull. Anytime, anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a double pack coming up. We're coming back to you with another episode with Warren and myself. We're going to be talking about we're going to have a new music discovery discussion on Robin Trower and Bridges Size. Okay, the 50th anniversary edition. I have my copy. I know you're waiting for yours.
Yeah.
Sorry. We will be back to talk about that in a few minutes. Okay. Please look after yourselves and one another, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.